Have you ever looked around at your life, all the items in it, all the clothes, all the books, and thought, actually, I'm just not inspired by any of this? If that sounds like you guys and that sounds like something that you feel on a day-to-day basis, then I think this video will be really helpful for you guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mona. I'm an ex-magazine journalist, ex-personal trainer, currently rebuilding my career and my brand, helping you write better and helping brands build their brand story through content strategy and content consultation. I'm actually very excited about this video because it's educational, but it's also a little bit of personal information that I'd like to share with you guys. Just a personal journey that I'm going through, which I think will be helpful for anyone who's in the same position as me. I'm going to talk to you guys about a few different things, a few different items, and a few different aspects of my life that I didn't really enjoy, and I decided to sell everything that just wasn't sparking joy for me, to be honest. These are items that I don't want to take into my new life and I just want to get rid of. So we're going to talk about how I got rid of all my clothes, how I'm getting rid of all my home items, how I'm getting rid of all the books that I don't read or haven't read in a while. And then we're going to talk a little bit about minimalism and a little bit about how I'm building my capsule wardrobe. Okay, so we've got a lot to get through, so let's get on with it. We're going to talk about clothes because clothes is probably the one part of my life where I have not spent that much effort in the last couple of years. So probably since pandemic, I don't think I've actually bought that many new things. I've recently started to buy new things and none of my clothes made me happy. I had old clothes that I used to fit in and I was size 6, sometimes size 0. Those are some of the items that I kept from my old life. And so all those clothes I'm actually selling on my Vinted page. I'm gonna link it down below so you guys can shop on my page. So I just decided to sell everything that just wasn't making me happy, wasn't sparking joy. Also, a lot of stuff that I was buying was unfortunately trendy. So I used to be very social and I used to go out a lot, so I had a lot of clothes that I was buying. I wasn't really wearing them and they were just trendy things, and I just think that I don't really need them because I'm actually not a very trendy person, to be honest. I just wear what looks good on me. I don't really wear what's in or in fashion. I usually buy timeless stuff. There are some coats and jackets and tops and dresses that I've had for 10 plus years that I still feel like I could potentially fit into and wear, and they feel timeless to me. So those items I've actually kept, but all the trendy stuff like Mason Margiela for H&M, I bought a bunch of those, but they were kind of trendy for the moment and I really wanted to buy them, but initially in the long term I don't really see myself wearing any of those things, any of those items or clothes. So everything is on my Vinted page. So that was one of the things that I really wanted to get rid of because it just wasn't inspiring me anymore, and I felt like going into the new phase of my life, I just want to get rid of my old stuff and the old clutter and make space for new items. It's a whole separate video on building my capsule minimalism / timeless wardrobe in general when I'm auditing and editing my life. It was clothes that I first came to. I'm just trying to level up my style. I just really feel like I've come more into myself. I've kind of become more comfortable with my body now, and I just feel like my style has definitely changed from when I was in my 20s. I'm just looking forward to getting rid of everything, to be honest, and being able to build a wardrobe that I can keep for at least like 20-30 years in the future, and items that I can mix and match and create outfits with. Another reason why I wanted to get rid of some of my clothes is just to eliminate decision fatigue. So this is something that most organizational psychologists talk about, and you also have organization companies who talk about this too, where you just have less decision fatigue in the morning because you know what looks good on you. You've bought specific items. You know that on a quick day, if you wake up late, you know you can mix and match this and this. You can mix and match this top, this pants, this jacket, these shoes, and get ready and go. And that eliminates decision fatigue in the morning, trying to figure out what you're going to wear, because you already know that everything in your wardrobe actually looks really good on you. So that's the kind of wardrobe that I would like to build. These are concepts that I picked up from books like Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. The Home Edit also talks about this, and I read books by Adam Grant. He talks about this too. There's multiple self-help books which talk about decision fatigue, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people feel tired, and on a day-to-day basis their tasks are just overwhelming, and I just want to eliminate all of that from my life. So my main thing is my wardrobe every morning, because if I feel good in the morning, then I'm ready to do the day and I feel like, you know what, let's go, and I'm happy to do anything that needs to be done. But if I don't feel good, then it obviously affects my mood. I definitely have systems to stay on top of what I'm doing, but if I'm doing really well, then whatever I'm doing just needs to be done once. For example, if I'm making a video and I feel like I look good, then I just need to sit down and film it. Whereas on days where maybe I don't feel that good or I'm not feeling like my outfit is flattering, then I usually end up taking more time in maybe adding makeup, doing foundation, or different types of jumpers that might look good. So I just want to eliminate all of that and get rid of all my decision fatigue when it comes to wearing clothes. So that's also one of the reasons why I'm getting rid of everything and keeping a minimum of 2 bags. So I'm going to show you guys that these bags are the only items of clothing and shoes that I'm actually keeping. The rest I'm selling, and everything is super cheap. I'm definitely in the process of just trying to get rid of everything. I'm not trying to make any additional money, so everything is very affordable on my page. Go have a look and see if there's anything that can fit your timeless wardrobe. I think the biggest benefit of getting rid of selling all my clothes is that I actually feel like there's a clearing of energy. I feel much lighter. I feel happier with less clothes, and I feel like I also have more space in my walk-in wardrobe, because before it was full of stuff, but I always went in there thinking I actually have nothing to wear. And I would always pick up the same 2 jumpers, the same items, and just getting rid of everything makes me feel like I have so much more space to actually add things that I want to add and buy items that I want to buy. Like, I haven't bought belts in a very long time. I haven't bought scarves in a very long time. I haven't bought hats in a very long time because I just didn't have space for it. And I just had all these clothes everywhere that I wasn't using. So one of the biggest things, or the biggest benefits of me selling all my clothes, is just getting rid of everything that was uninspiring and dragging me down and just making my energy stagnant and stuck. Okay, so if you want to know how I actually reset my wardrobe, you can watch this video here, which is in my February reset vlog, and you can have a look. I reset my wardrobe, but I also reset some other areas of my life. So if you guys are interested, you can have a quick look there. Home items are definitely very important. This is probably something that I'm doing because I'm redoing my bedroom and my walk-in wardrobe. And I thought, you know what, while I'm in the process of doing a revamp, painting the walls and adding more furniture or more decoration, I might as well just get rid of items that I've had for a while and I don't really use. One of the biggest things that's mentioned in self-help and productivity books is the fact that your environment should inspire you, but your environment should also help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. This is a proven psychological fact. If you go into specific cafes or shops, water bottles and drinks are placed in a certain area where there's high traffic and people can collect them, or there's specific items placed right before you get to the cashier so you can shop there as well. So there's a psychology behind having specific items being placed in specific places. I want to translate something like that, but for my room. For example, in order for me to wake up and smash out 2-3 YouTube videos every single day, I need to set up my camera in a way where it just stays there and I don't have to remove it and put it back in its place. It's just constantly there. I wake up, when I'm ready, I'm filming, and then I'm done and nothing else needs to be done. So in order for me to set up my place, I want to get rid of any home items that are not inspiring or stopping me. For example, there is a TV in my room which I'm going to move out, because initially I added a TV in my room just so I could watch some TV in bed, which is something that I love doing on a Sunday, but I just realized that it actually stops me from being productive. So I'm now going to move that TV into my walk-in room so that my bedroom is just a space where I can relax and I don't have a TV in there. Things like that I'm getting rid of, but I'm also selling a lot of my things. I used to just buy items, and even if they were mixed matched, I would just buy them and put them in my room, whereas I think I want a more adult space. So all the lamps that are mixed matched, or all the bedside tables that don't match, shelves that don't match, or decoration stuff that just doesn't match, I'm getting rid of all of that. Again, it's on my Vinted page, so you can look at all those things. So you can shop everything on the link which is linked down below. And I just want a more elevated adult space where it feels like I want to make my room homey, but I want to make it like a studio space, so sort of like a one-bed studio place that I'm renting. So it feels like I'm kind of renting even though I am living at home, but I want to put my headspace in the fact that I'm renting, so I'm ready to actually move out of my home and have my own place, which is the idea. I just want a more elevated home adult space. So I'm getting rid of anything that just doesn't inspire me and anything that is keeping me stuck, or it's temporary stuff that I thought, okay, it's cheap and I'll just use it. I'm getting rid of all of that, and I'm just focusing on creating my space, which is inspiring but also helps me be productive. As you guys know, I love reading and I love buying books, and those of you guys who are book readers, my followers who are book readers, understand how addictive buying books can be. But on the other side, sometimes you buy books and you actually never end up reading them, or they just don't really appeal to you and they just lie there in your library just gathering dust, and you don't even want to recommend it to anyone because you wouldn't recommend a book that you didn't enjoy to someone else. I also had a lot of academic books that I'd kept from my uni. I had books from my master's course, I had books from my undergraduate course. I also bought some books when I did some short courses. So all the books that I've read but I don't really need and I have notes on, I sent it over to WOB, which is World of Books, which is also a great place for you book lovers to buy secondhand books because they're much cheaper and the quality is actually really good. So it's basically people like me sending in their books, which they've bought. My battery died. World of Books is an online store where you can buy secondhand books, and I have basically sold all the books that I haven't read, all my course books, all my master's books, all the educational books that I haven't read in years or I don't need. I've sold it to World of Books, and they actually pay you for it. So you give them the ISBN number, but I think you need to have a minimum of 8 or 9 books. You just have to check on the website. So you can't just sell one book. You have to send them more than 8 or 9 books, but if you're clearing out, most likely you have more books than that to actually get rid of. So yeah, I sold all my books to them. That was a decision that I made so that I can make space, number one, and I can contain everything that I need. And all the books that I have, I genuinely want to read them, and I would genuinely recommend them to friends or family. Talk to you guys about minimalism. So I've always been a minimalist in terms of like my style and what I wear. Usually, even if I do buy trendy stuff, it's usually quite minimal. I'm not an over-the-top person where I dress flashy or opulent. I'm also a very city girl, so I've come from a background of going to a private school. We had a uniform, everything was very strict, everything was kept very minimal. I grew up in a time where we weren't allowed to have piercings or tattoos or anything like that, so I really just kept true to who I am, which is very minimal and very straightforward. So personally, I really just am interested in minimalism. I'm not the type of person that is into minimalism, which is industrial. I do like character, but in general, I just like to keep my space, my home, my clothes, my wardrobe, my lifestyle quite minimal. I'm more like somebody who dresses like they're on the go. I keep shoes in my bag. If I go work, I keep trainers. If I have to wear heels at work, I keep trainers or flats in my bag. So it's more of a city vibe. It's very practical and very minimalist. I already was living that life, but a couple of years ago, I read a couple of books and watched a couple of documentaries which were really helpful. Obviously, there's some extreme minimalism, so you can be on being minimalist or having a timeless wardrobe is usually on a spectrum. There's people that only live with one pair of trousers or one pair of shirt, which is, I think personally for me, it's a bit too extreme. I definitely like options, and it's the same with books or shelves or clothes or home items. I don't completely want it to be an industrial minimalism vibe. I do like character, but I think if anyone is interested in finding out more about minimalism and kind of living more of a basic life, you can watch a documentary on minimalism. So I think it's called The Minimalists. The documentary is really quite cool. It's a bit extreme for my personal preference, but it's still a good watch if you're thinking of going into a more minimal lifestyle. It will help you edit things down if that's something that you want from your life. And I also read a really cool book, this one, which is A Year of Less by Cait Flanders. So I read it in lockdown, which was in 2020, and I actually found it really quite helpful. Basically, it talks about Cait Flanders, who goes through a year of buying less. She didn't buy any clothes, she didn't buy any furniture, she just used what she had at home, and she just realized a few different things. And I thought I wanted to take it on because at that moment I was really feeling quite overwhelmed with my life and the stuff that I had in general. And so I decided to put the theory to test, and I actually ended up not buying clothes for a good 4 or 5 years, and I've never felt like I'm missing anything out or I needed anything else. So that was just an experiment that I was trying out, and it did actually make me feel really good about myself. I actually got rid of so many things earlier on as well, which I was hoarding, memories which didn't need to be kept, and I threw everything away. But there's other things that she talks about as well, whereas, you know, like clearing your mind, clearing your work life, you moved to a new city, and she just discovered so many aspects of herself which were really interesting, and I really wanted to go down that journey. Cait Flanders' A Year of Less is a really good book. As somebody who grew up in the 90s, I remember having less stuff, but I also felt quite fulfilled with some of the stuff that I had. Even if I did buy lots of things, there was only a handful of things that I actually wore. So yeah, that's something that I really want to focus on, but also it's something that I think I want to bring back into my life. Okay, so that's the end of minimalism. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that I've learned so much throughout this process. I've learned so much about myself, about what I love, about who I am, about my own character, about my own design aesthetics, what kind of style suits me, what doesn't suit me, what environment I want to be in, how quickly I need things change, how quickly I need to elevate in specific environments. So it's not just about, selling everything wasn't just about getting rid of the overwhelming thoughts or decision fatigue. It's also about learning more about myself and working on myself, and also understanding myself a little deeper as I get a little bit older. So those are a few things that I've learned. If you guys are inspired, watch this video where I reset and declutter everything in my life.